Another lovely Friday morning for we. My name is Saruno Catracho, me and a Rolling Condo 300. Today is Friday morning, the 24th of April, the year is 2026, 8:36 a.m. We're going to share that there's been some additions to the home that replace what was eliminated. Inspirations occur, so just when the home is comfortable, inspiration sometimes causes me to choose what's best. So what's being shown is a craft store find. This is a wind chime, solar powered with the butterflies light, and it's going to be added with the electronic motion detectors that, in case if one system doesn't detect motion and alert, perhaps the other one will. Being a van lifer, bus lifer for 2.5 years, in actuality, I started back in 2007, and I graduated from a van since 2007 until 2017 is when the inspiration for bus life occurred. But the bus life began in the year 2023. It's now 2026. So it'll be 3 years very soon. With a small space, just like pretty much any space, clutter can occur because we don't have much space to work with. So I'm going to reveal the clutter and share what was added to the home. So I'm going into the living room. So these are a craft store find. The craft store find is on both sides of the home, which is a 3-drawer closet cabinet. And the floor tile is added to coordinate from the same craft store is the beautiful platter, decorative bowl, that for temporary use, keys could be placed there or the other one across, and the lamp. Behind the lamp is floor tiles that is added to the school bus windows, top and bottom. It's not going to be top and bottom across the home. It's primarily within the living room and just maybe in the bedroom. But the kitchen and bathroom will be the lower windows would only be tiled. And on the opposite side of the glass, the outside glass will be black tile, likely 10-inch by 20-inch tiles and black for privacy, reduction of light, reduction of extreme heat, and likely extreme cold. And that will reduce the adhesion from drying from extreme heat or extreme cold or melting so it don't detach from the glass. Within the kitchen is this 6 slotted drawer that is a thrift store find that comes with the lower level drawers here, which is wider than the one that was just shown. Here has drinking glass without lid, with lids, and silverware, which can't be seen because they're inside of a felt folder. Below, and these are herbs and seasoning, in which they'll be transferred to stainless steel canteens or jars because that will reduce the smell so bugs and rodents don't be attacking it to eat. The countertop is a thrift store find that sells used cabinetry for businesses and homes, and the countertop is removable, so it's not fixed to this place. This is just temporary because we're walking, and we added the floor tile to it to coordinate, and it's on top of the sink. The sink won't have this countertop permanently because this countertop will be used to be transferred over to the cool box. The cool box was painted the fuchsia because we had an inspiration to add a decorative pattern on top, but we don't understand the vision enough to continue, so we're going to reverse it to appliance white. And so that countertop transfers over to the cool box because of the same dimensions. Staying within the kitchen, the lower boxes were added to the cooker, which is a thrift store find that came with the one that was shown before. And those would also have the stainless steel canteens or jars that would have rice, beans, pasta, sugar, tea, cocoa. And if there's empty slots, then that's fine because we don't care to use every space just because it's there. We like having available space. For those that didn't know, that the cooker and the iron shelf, which is an industrial grade 3-tiered shelf that is originally black. So the shelf is originally black. The the cooker is a black cast iron camping outdoor cooker that is made by the company Camp Chef. Camp Chef has this as a Explorer tool because there's an Explorer, which is a single burner. This is the Explorer 2 because it's a dual burner. There's a third one, so it's a Explorer 3. This one has the aluminum plate that one can't see because it was painted behind the knobs. So this model is considered a deluxe. So this is a Camp Chef Explorer 2 Deluxe. It does no, there's no other function. It's just the aluminum plate, why it's called a deluxe. This was painted with these products here. And the order was the I Eat. Rust-Oleum is the product name, or the company name. Rust-Oleum is I Eat. It's a flat white because we couldn't learn that there was a gloss option. I didn't see a gloss option, but it works. Me been painting this for a duration of about 2.5 to 3 years. Well, 2.5 years or less of painting the shelf and the cooker, and it's a proven product that is great for being able to wipe surfaces, and it keeps its color. It hasn't been like needed to be painted, but me painted just to keep it fresh looking. And so me painted it a couple of layers, 2 days to dry. The second one in the middle, which is a Rust-Oleum product, it's a gloss white, painted it a couple of layers, 2 days to dry. The epoxy appliance spray, white gloss, sprayed it a couple of layers, 2 days to dry. And because we don't know if this made a difference or not, but we did add a Rust-Oleum product, gloss clear, to the shelf, just to make it wipeable for a splatter. Now, being mindful that if one chooses to do this, the burners will become blackened again from use, but at least most of the white will remain. The bathroom will have walls. It is figured that beginning with my fingers pointing, one window, two and three, and perhaps this fourth window would be half the window there to be used for the bathroom. So to begin here to over there, possibly a split bathroom going across the home where this side door here may be occupied for the bathroom, and to the left is a narrow window. So that's considered for as a split bathroom, but likely it'll be 3.5 windows wide. Won't be a shower. It will just be a this sink that has, it's a deep sink because there's buckets in there that one can be able to purify themselves. There are also round shaped trays that one can stand in to be able to allow the water to go into, and then the round shaped trays can be dumped outside. And a toilet. The toilet is covered with these comforters at the moment, so that will likely be why it will be a split bathroom. The bedroom, which is the same bed, except the bed was disassembled because we had to add new hardware to be able to make it an above the head storage for comforters, pillows, and me painting it this morning. These are hardware store poles that are originally black, and me added the same paint that was shown for the cooker because these aren't galvanized, so therefore rust can be presented with these. And plus, we wanted to make them attractive with the white band. For those that didn't know, that under the bed and across from the bed are wheel wells. And this bus is not like every bus where there's a similar floor plan. There's definitely considerations for wheel wells because some rigs do and don't have that concern for wheel wells. Under the sofas are wheel wells, and so the wheel wells are about 10 inches tall and 4 feet wide. So that's why these are where they are, as well as the bed, because of the wheel wells. And the because of the sofas, I go back to that, being over the wheel wells, we couldn't use the legs that came with these sofas. So therefore, we used the same hardware store pipes for the sofa frames. That's the log burner that is not fully viewed. This was disassembled because it was in the living room in about this space this winter. And that is a cubic mini grizzly. Cubic is the name of the company. Cubic Mini is the name of the company, and that is a grizzly model. There's 2 models to date. The other one is a Cub, which is smaller than the one that was shown. They're both small. And it is considered to be relocated in the back of the home where I won't be able to share where it can go because the space is cluttered. And the exhaust or the flute for the likely be threaded when I can get it to focus. What we need in the very back in the corner is the plate with screws, and that may be likely what the piping will be threaded out for the exhaust. Okay, so resuming about the bed, which is made of hardware store pipes, is being painted this morning. Beginning at the top is the above the head storage, quite likely for comforters, pillows, linens in general. And these are aluminum planks that is designed for scaffolding. So scaffolding equipment is what this will be placed on. And scaffolding is typically for those that go up on a building to do brick repair and painting and windows. So these are excellent for the use of being able to put stuff above the bed because of its strength. It's lightweight, it's strong, and it's spacious enough to be able to put items on top. And these same planks are used for the very back of the home. If one can see in the very back, there's a plank going across the engine cover. And below is the bed frame, which is the same aluminum planks. There are 2 aluminum planks that are being painted. I'll attempt to get a better shot of that. So that's an aluminum plank if one can see the separation of the hardware store pipes and the aluminum plank. The aluminum plank is, I believe, 7 feet long by approximately 35 inches across. So about 79 inches or 7 feet long by 30 plus inches. These are excellent as a bed frame because there is no concern about weight distribution. So it's been excellent for weight. There's no concern about rust, and don't have concerns like wood would have, like mold or being basically warped from its, basically losing its shape from perhaps weight and moisture. So these are excellent. These come in different sizes. It just happened to be that because we got these no brine, they was not new brine, that these are the ones that we got. But otherwise, you can get these shorter. I think even 6 feet. If me had a choice, I would likely gotten 6 feet. I'm 6 feet tall, so I likely would have gotten 6 feet long planks. But I'm satisfied with what we have because I didn't have to pay as much because these will not purchase new brine. So again, these are hardware store pipes, and me just customize the bed frame to be this height. I'm going to likely at some point later when I have the money available to reduce the height of it because this was originally 18-inch pipe, which is what's being shown, to now 24-inch pipe, and it's just taller than we prefer because the reason why these were changed from 18-inch pipe is because we couldn't access these orange and white containers, and therefore me got the space, but it's more space than me desire. So me prefer if these were, instead of 24-inch pipes, perhaps 22. But that would be a special order item. So as a result of that, me likely just keep this until me have the surplus to buy a shorter pipe. So likely this above the head storage will likely be similar to above this desk, which is a thrift store find, IKEA brand desk. Likely me won't keep this desk. I paid $15, but me don't believe so much for it. It's perfectly able to wheel well because it doesn't have storage. So we may not keep it, and would like to have a way to be able to have beneath storage and above the head storage because we need to have a dedicated space for a computer, Starlink, a solar generator to be able to power perhaps the electric fans, which is this one, and the oscillating fan. If there is a entertainment option, because we do have a video game Nintendo, the older one, the classic, that me would like to be able to power those items. So we need to have a place for the solar generator that looks nice, because the black crates, the milk crates that's being shown, it doesn't look like it's a home item. The shelf that's being shown is considered for shoes, because two pairs of shoes that are a size 12 fits neatly on there. So I may keep that for that purpose. So on the back likely would be the log burner. Me would like to learn if this bed frame can fit this way, long ways, if that makes sense. Well, basically, I would like to learn if it will go across this aisle. This is learn what are my options for the floor plan. I believe that's all to share. But you are welcome to subscribe to stay in tune with the progress of the OM and myself. My name is Saruno Catracho. You're welcome to share your ideas, suggestions, your comments, your complaints, your compliments. Share any details about yourself where perhaps maybe we can vibe or just understand each other's lifestyle, or be basically just sharing each other's details about like why you live the way you do. Are you a part of an alternative living, like a tiny home? Are you into van life or bus life? What is your current living conditions? What is your desired living conditions? My desire is what I'm doing now. Me had the large homes, had a condominium, had townhome, and this is what me desire. So it wasn't about money or any destitute. It was just desire to be simpler and smaller. So please share your living conditions. Are you alone? Do you have a family? Do you live in a tiny living? Is it with or without wheels? What city or what state? Just details about yourself, and perhaps we can go from this virtual way of vibing to in person, where perhaps we can be in each other's space. So love to have a response from you, and I'm more available than not. So therefore, if one decides to communicate with me, it's likely I'll be able to communicate just after you communicate, because I don't have comments often enough to not be able to respond fast to you. So anyway, hablar contigo después y chao pa ahora. Mi nombre es Arudno Catracho y chao pa ahora. Chao.